Hi, Queen. It's Melissa Knox Brunson of thequeencode.com. And today I actually want to continue the conversation that we had on last week about the powerful difference between struggle and suffering. I shared with you that struggle is basically just the natural stage of growth, and that since we're designed to be overcomers, when we allow the struggle to overcome us, that produces suffering. And suffering produces stagnation, so we don't grow. So this week I want to talk about, I want to go deeper into that issue of struggle and also talk about where our power really lies as women. You know, in this society, we're taught to believe that being a strong and tough woman is what it's really all about. You know, being able to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and being in charge and being forceful and formidable. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, for all of my warrior queens out there, I too am a warrior queen, and the world can absolutely benefit from our fiery leadership. So there's nothing wrong with exuding strength as women. But what I realized was at a point in my life where my main focus was to be strong and tough, I realized that there was something in me that was broken. There was something in me that was overcompensating for some past hurt. You know, I learned how to do things for myself to fill in the gaps from when other people let me down. I learned how to basically be so forceful that I was willing to do battle with anybody and anything that was going to stand in the way of me reaching my dreams. And what I came to find out was that I was going against myself. And I realized that when I got sick several years ago, and it wasn't anything major, but illness on any level is a sign that we're out of natural alignment, that something is out of order. When you think about that word disease, right, dis-ease, it basically means that there's something that's not at ease within. So I realized that by wanting to be so strong and tough, that I was going against myself. And then I realized that as women, where our true power lies is not necessarily being strong and tough, but being resilient. Now, when you think about that word resilient, it literally means to bounce back. Anything that's resilient can be bent, can be stretched, can be pulled, can be compressed, and it always returns to its natural state. So before, I would always use resilient when it came to overcoming obstacles or bouncing back from adversity. And that's a great character trait to have, especially as we're returning to our thrones. But what I mean here in this context is being emotionally resilient, being open, being, here's that word, vulnerable. And before that health scare, to me, being vulnerable meant being weak. Like, I didn't want to have anything to do with that word. You know, I would rather be strong and tough because that meant that I was fortified. And when something is fortified, it means that nothing can get through. So that meant that no one could hurt me or no one could disappoint me. But like the late, great Jim Rohn says, don't build those walls, because the same walls that keep out disappointment also keeps out happiness. So I learned that there was absolutely nothing weak about being vulnerable. And the day that I made the decision to be vulnerable and to be more emotionally open and available, to be more emotionally resilient, that's the day that I really stepped into my power. And what I realized is that being resilient is better than being strong. Think about something that's strong. When there's pressure applied to it, what happens to it? It breaks. When you think about something that is resilient, when there's pressure applied to that, it bends. So being resilient is better than being strong. Now, the thing about being emotionally resilient and vulnerable, it can be very scary. It can be scary because you don't know what to expect. You have to really open your heart and love people, not even knowing if you're going to get it in return. You have to really to be able to be okay with not knowing what's coming down the road. When we're emotionally open and vulnerable, right, in this feminine way, Sometimes we don't know what's coming down the road and we're not in control. But here's the thing, Queen. Whenever we're returning to our thrones, those times when we're not in control are the times where we really leave space to truly elevate. Those times when we're not in control are the times when we really have the opportunity to reach into our fullest expression. So, Queen, my message to you this week is that it's okay. It's okay. Like, it's okay to open up. I know it's a struggle, but remember, struggle is just a stage of growth. The struggle shows us what we're made of. And as queens, everything that we learn in that struggle becomes a jewel in our crown. So it's okay to open up, because we're never going to get any more than we can handle. We absolutely have a heart for the struggle. As queens, we're created with a special, unique, divine design. And what that means is that we are powerful, we are resilient, we bend, but we do not break. That's my message for you this week, Queen. In the meantime, I have a gift for you. If you go to www.thequeencode.com, there's a free download there called Queen, You Were Born to Succeed. Get that download. It has great information in there. You get to find out which queen type are you. And you also get the blueprint for how to return to your throne in 2012 and beyond. So that's www.thequeencode.com. Get your free download there, and I'll talk to you soon.